Good morning, fellow YouTubers and subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for all the support you've been giving us. We really do appreciate it. Today, I want to continue on our extreme budget build 1957 Ford 5-window coupe. Last I was working on this thing, we installed a floor in it, a Holden HQ floor, and yeah, I went and I bought a transmission tunnel out of a car in a scrapyard. We're just gonna quickly put that in and finish off the floor in the front section here. So let's see how I get cracking on that. So here you see the piece that I did go and buy out of the scrap. I mean, this being an extreme budget car, we're not gonna go with everything brand new plate, etc, etc. The challenge was to see if I can build this as cheap as possible, because when we found it, it was actually 3 pieces of a car. It wasn't even a complete car, sitting in a field for many years, and it was given to us by our friend Dion Herman from Rods and Customs. Anyway, first things first, let me see how this piece of floor matches up to the old one before we just cut. Let me mark and see. Let's just get a visual how this is gonna be and how it's gonna work. I didn't mind the rust bit a bit. We'll cut that out. Right. Right, I need to actually fit this underneath here, but it should work in this car. And then I'll quickly trace it and cut it. We've got a visual how it's gonna work. It's gonna work nicely. Alright. This being a bit too low, I can't put it through underneath. I measured it, so let's quickly measure and mark it where I'm gonna cut it. Plan B. Let me give myself a bit extra, or rather cut that piece and join them together, butt weld them. About 480 on the safe side. Now this one still has protection on it, a liner. Be on the safe side, let's do it like this. Because I actually only want this for this tunnel. I like this transmission tunnel because it's got all the shapes and stuff already in it. You know, for the corners, everything. Saves me some time. Alright, let me quickly slap that in there, see where we're at. And now I'm gonna have to notch, as the firewall also has a different pattern. Let me mark that. Right, let me see where we end up, and then I'll work it from there. Right, that's actually sufficient. Now this front should only come down, but I'm gonna mark it because I'm gonna chop it there so that part can move forward, because I don't want to really cut the cow. Yes, that should be sufficient. Then I'll cut this out and I'll butt weld it together after cleaning it. Then at least it should have a section of floor. I'll cut this out and I'll make my other section so it matches up to this and come to the curve there. We quickly do that. I'm gonna cut it and try and bend that piece up a bit because this firewall's pretty much flat. All right, quickly bend that. Pause. All right, let's test it first to the car. My scrap and scrap. All right, that should be pretty close actually. Right, I have to bring it a bit forward and shape it a bit. Right, I think let me clamp this in place so I know where to cut this floor. This I'm gonna cut like that to get this rod out. But this is how we used to do it in the old days. And we're doing this to show everybody. You don't need millions to build cars. You just need a plan. And when I'm done with this, taking all this off, it should be a perfectly good floor. Let me take it from there. Yes, let me just clamp that in. And then this side also, then we're going to start chopping this tunnel so we can match the tunnel to the tunnel. I'll probably take this off as well so I can match it to the firewall. You get cracking. Quickly jump on the other side. Let me quickly just mark this. Finish chopping. This thing, if we have to look at what the cost is so far on this car, the commander it was laying here, or Holden HQ like the Australian guys call it, I used for suspension. I used scrap plates and I fixed the chassis. I boxed it and I fitted the whole suspension with 4-link to it in the previous videos. And this whole car as it sits now, we're not even at 2,000 rands. That's extreme for you. I also have another challenge that they want me to start the engine that's been in a scrap for many years, completely seized and rusted up. I hope I get that one right. Here we go. Let me quickly chop this out. Right, let me just clean my scrap pieces of plate and get this all buttered together. Alright, let me quickly tack this bottom section and that section there just to keep this together. And then we'll start seeing how we can join this all together, because this is a fun bit about piecing everything together that shouldn't even be in this car. But it's going to have a better tunnel because the floors were quite flat, and we should be able to get a nice big modern engine in this thing when it's going. Right, let me tack that side. I guess this car doesn't love me too much. Let me quickly play this side again. I'm gonna have to pie cut it to get the excess metal out and just drop this down a bit. Let me quickly cut that. Alright, let me quickly do two relief cuts and we'll join this together. Right, let me quickly just get this metal to stand where I want it. Let me beat on it. Right, and there I'll just notch it, bring it forward, tie it to the car. All fun and games. Right, that should be sufficient. Let me beat on this. I'll close the gaps later because this cut wasn't from us actually. This was on the original scrap floor. On our scrappy car. Let's see. Let me shape it a bit more. There we go. Okay, there we go. Let me quickly lock that off. Right, like you can see, I buzzed that in quickly, not all the way, but I'm thinking maybe I must trim the firewall so it can give me more access for balancing, so I can set the engine deeper in this thing as we're going for a small block V8 or something like that. All right, let me go to the front and make some relief cuts to bend this bit rounder. Let me do a couple of cuts so I can bend this lip a bit up so I've got more space for bell housing, and I can try and shape this a bit so it's a bit rounder here. As you can see, it's already got cracks and stress from old age. I might as well just chop it and fix it properly. Right, let me get cracking. Take my mallet and just shape this a bit if it wants to shape, because it's got a bead and everything, but that's not a biggie. Just grab the mallet. Now we'll just join this to the floor on the inside. I think I can go actually a bit bigger. I don't really want to go too big. Pedal's already gonna be close. Maybe I should go small amount bigger. And then I can tie this all together. I'm gonna drop the floor on the front a bit down because I think this is sufficient. Or must I go bigger? That's the question. Bigger is always better, they say. Let me go a small amount bigger. Bend the lip a bit better. Me shape it a bit more so I can go bigger on the tunnel. Like you can see, it's a lot bigger than the original tunnel was on this. And just straighten this a bit, and then we'll go bigger like I said. There we go. Get my hammer. I have to relief cut it a bit more, I think, just here, but it's basically there, and then we can join it together and the car should be more solid so I can start taking out rust on the sides. That's the next step on this whole car. That looks better. Just take a vice grip, tie this here, and then it's just panel beating and joining it together. And that is how we put a tunnel that's not made for his car in his car. Extreme budget bolts, you gotta love them. I'll come back to that. First I want to actually join it together now. Get a vice grip, tie that together, cut it so I can butt it. me just tag it to hold it, and then I'll shape it with a hammer. Alright, me just tag this at the end and then I can panel beat it a bit. Just go panel beat it a bit to get it to shape. Like you can see, that is the plan. Now I'll continue like that until I've got it in, and then I have to shape the other sections. Okay, so now that we've got our tunnel in, like you can see, got a piece of cardboard. I'm going to trace it out so I can just get the exact size of the plate I'm going to do. So that can get this puppy rolling. Alright, let me just cut that first with scissors. So I've got a traceable piece that I can put to plate, but this is just the start of that. Alright. Something like that. Let me just put it underneath. More lace. Then let me just, I think, put it in place and trace it from the other side. It's going to be an easier option. Let me go on the other side. Right, let me chop my template and see how it fits with the vehicle. Giving it a bit more space. Alright. I have to pick that piece up a bit. This piece to there. Okay. Just chop that. Worry about the roundness of that corner just now. Keep it a bit bigger than the actual piece. This will just bend up a bit to match the original floorboard, because this actually had a wooden floorboard. That's the bracket for the wood panel that used to go in there. We're replacing it with steel because, number one, I want to have the vehicle stronger. All of this was actually had a wooden floorboard. That's actually why I'm replacing. Like I said, I want the vehicle a bit stronger. Okay, let me mark that. Okay, cut it and I'll put tape and I'll extend it to what I need to transfer to my piece of scrap plate, because this is our extreme budget car. Our 1957 Ford extreme budget car, because this car was so rotten nobody actually saw a chance for this car. Nobody really wanted to build this car because it's so far gone. I've put in some hours and time in this vehicle to get it to the point it is now. That seems alright. I'll just trim a small amount there. Seems okay. So now I'll just add this piece here. So this is called making plans. Right, let me transfer this to metal. There we go. Got that section. I'll quickly chop it and slightly bend it by hand and we'll nail it in there. And slightly bend and curve it. Remember, the one side's flatter than the other side. Let me curve this edge a small amount. Let me grab the device grip just to work the edge a bit. Not too much. I know it's not a big curve. And then we'll panel beat it a bit with a hammer, just to give it a bit more shape. Like I said, it's not that much. Alright, now that I've got my rounding in my plate, I'm just going to tack it in place and start shaping it and beating it with a hammer so it can match the rest of the floor in a curvature. Now just shape it a bit with the hammer and butt weld it quickly in place, most of it. and shape it as I go to get the edges, everything perfect. Just up my welder a small amount. Okay, let me shape it a bit more according to the floor and nail it in place. Else I have to trim some excess very small in this corner. Just shape that corner a bit better. Now I need to panel beat it and start bringing that edge up a bit so I can lay it down here. Perfect. Quickly tack that up. Right. Now I can start shaping the top corner, panel beating it from behind as well to bring this open so I can start filling in this part here. And when it starts coming up, this will start laying down. I can panel beat it also nicely. This is almost in place. Let me just tack it there. Alright, that should be sufficiently tacked. Now I can start fixing this corner here and shaping it. All right, like you can see, now I got my makeshift floor pan in here, half original, half modified. Now I'll just push this back and I'll finish it off. So it will be like that. That side we also have to make a piece of makeshift floor. But I do really like this because the water will run down and I'll make a hole here and just patch that up. So there's a drain plug there. Okay, thank you for everybody. Thank you for watching. Peace out.